So I decided to hand dye my DIY stretchy flats. Now my DIY stretchy flats, I did nothing fancy, I did not sew them. I made a tutorial in 2018 and there will be another video coming out soon of my DIY stretchy flats. Literally all I do is I get the stretchy flat material in, I prep it, I personally wash it 3 times with soap, I measure it, I cut it, and that is it. Nothing else fancy. It's a very simple process. I absolutely love doing it because it makes stretchy flats so much more affordable. Stretchy flats are like a luxury flat, definitely on the pricier end when we're talking about cloth diaper absorbency. But if you DIY them, you really cut that price into like thirds. And there are some of the most absorbent diapers in my stash personally. So I'm going to show you the process that I have done over the past 2 days, just kind of hand dyeing stretchy flats for the first time. This is my first time dyeing anything in my life. I have absolutely no experience dyeing things. Of course, I took to YouTube to learn how to do this stuff. I will link the videos down below that I personally watched in order to do this kind of stuff. I think you guys will find it helpful too because this video is not a tutorial, it's just literally me showing you what I did and some of the wins that I had doing this and also some of the fails I had while doing this. I love this process so much that I will absolutely be doing more of it in the future. So definitely in the future be looking forward to tutorials of like ice dyeing and doing geode dyes because this is really, really fun. And I have so many things on the ice right now that I am dyeing and I love this process. It's been really fun. The stretchy flat material that I'm personally using, I bought from Kindle. I'll leave it down below, not sponsored. I'm using the Bamboo Stretch French Terry. I love French Terry. The bamboo French Terry is so good. I know Nature's Fabric also sells French Terry. Nature's Fabric sells the bamboo hemp one. Now that one's even more absorbent if you can get your hand on that. I got my dyes from Dharma Dyes. I've heard great things about Dharma Dyes, that it's great quality and it's also safe to go against the skin, so that's why I went with Dharma Dyes. The shipping is a little pricey, but I think it is great quality and you get a lot in those little containers and literally just a little bit of dye goes a long way. But let's just dive into the footage that I've taken over the past 2 days. So I'm going to try a few different fun dyes with this fabric that I have. I cut some toddler size flats, which are 30 inches. I cut some newborn flats, which are 20 inches. And then I have one piece of fabric that is just a big chunk of fabric that I might just keep a big chunk of fabric, or I might cut it up into flats. I'm not sure. I think it'd be fun to have a blanket size one. I'm just using a white stretchy flat that I made. No sewing, I just cut the fabric. I'm going to use this, I think it's called Sinew thread. People use this when they're hand dyeing. I'm going to use that to make some geode shapes on this flat. So from what I saw on tutorials is you take a crumpled section and you just start tying it off. One of the things that I did wrong here in this clip was not tying this around tight enough around the fabric. You have to get it really, really tight in order to create really defined rings like a geode. On the second flat I definitely did that. I took the advice of a subscriber from an Instagram message and I tightened it so much tighter and it made a huge difference. It can definitely hurt your hands, so there are methods to get around that and we can talk about that in a more in-depth video. So I've had my diapers soaking in soda ash for like an hour. I should have soaked them in soda ash before I wrap them like this. So I guess we will see how it turns out. I'm gonna go ahead and drain this and get it set up to start dyeing it, start ice dyeing it. So it's 5:05 p.m. right now. And I'll probably let these set overnight outside. I'm gonna decide what colorways I'm gonna do it. So this is the geode one, and then these are 2 newborn flats. Now what I'm gonna do is, for one of these flats, I'm gonna directly put some of the powder on the flat, then put ice on top of it. Then for the other one, I'm gonna put ice on top of it, then the powder. I heard that if you put the powder on, then the ice, it's more of a concentrated look. And then if you put the ice on, then the powder, what happens is it's more of a swirly, kind of blended look. And I wanna try both. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to figure out what colors I'm gonna do for these flats. this stuff is getting so messy. So I cleaned out one of my plastic drawers, and I'm gonna stick this in here so that, I don't know if you can tell here, but it's leaking. So I'm gonna put it in here to catch all that extra drippage. Alright, so I just got done prepping these and washing these. I'll show you the one where I put the dye directly on the flat, then I put the ice on top of it. So that's what this one looks like. Very beautiful. I'm loving the blues on this. Seriously, so pretty. I'll show you the one I did where I put the colors on top of the ice. I'm actually loving the way that this looks. And now I want to show you the geode dye. It kind of looks more like a bubble dye. This is a toddler size flat. The other ones are newborn flats, so this one's huge. But look at this. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love the colorways of these. Next time I'll probably leave the dye on a lot longer so that the colors are more saturated. But today I'm gonna play around with doing more like this because I absolutely love the look of this. I love the colors of this. I'm loving the purple blue theme. I think I'm gonna add some green to some ones as well. But yeah, these are absolutely gorgeous. So I have my setup again, and I'm actually gonna do 2 more. I'm gonna film it as well because this is really fun, and I kind of just want to show you guys the process of what it looks like. My ice maker is broken, so I actually have to run to the gas station with the kids to get some ice, but yeah, let's get to it. So with this flat right here, I actually took it and I started to swirl the pieces inwards. I'm gonna make this into a fire looking flat, and so it has all these different types of swirls in it. I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but I feel like it's gonna look really cool. Right now I'm gonna put ice on it, and then I'm gonna add the dye on it because I'm really liking the look of putting the ice down first and then putting the dye on top. It really gives it that magical swirled look. I have another flat right here soaking in soda ash. I'm gonna go ahead and wring it out. And I just want this flat to be damp, and then I'm gonna start twisting it and folding it with this Sinew and making it into some geode shapes. I'm gonna go with a similar theme to my last one, and I love the purples, the blues, and the greens. So right now I am doing the geode one, and I have this Sinew, S-I-N-E-W, and it's like this waxy colored string, and I'm tying these really, really tight knots. Last time I didn't do it tight enough, so my geodes didn't look really defined, so I'm hoping that they will with this one. And yeah, that's kind of my process for the geode dyes. I'm going to do a few different geodes on this flat, and I'll get back with you when it's done. This process has been so much fun. I'm definitely going to keep dyeing things and sharpening my techniques and experimenting. This was definitely just one giant experiment to see what would happen because I've never dyed anything before. This is just a really fun process to do something different with my cloth diaper experience. Willow will be out of diapers soon, and so it's fun to create art with my diapers in a different way that I've never tried before. Of course, you can dye your fabric. You can dye any type of fabric like this. It doesn't have to be just cloth diaper fabric, but I love stretchy flats, and I love DIY stretchy flats, and it's been really fun to color them. It's been a really, really fun experience documenting it. I documented some of the behind the scenes stuff on Instagram and my Instagram stories. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I appreciate you guys watching and sticking to the end and seeing the result. I'm really pleased with how these turned out, especially that second geode print that I did. Absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.